Welcome to Dating from a Distance, the reunion. I'm joined by Helen, Livio, Jess and Daisy. Unfortunately, Tom couldn't join us due to work commitments, but that won't stop us from catching up with everyone else. I'll start with you, Helen. What have you been doing since Dating from a Distance?
Getting on with life as much as possible, really. So nothing's really changed for me.
Well, trying to cope with the situation and be okay with the boredom. And also I've been trying to improve my magical tricks. Boom! Oh yeah.
I am still doing my PGCE teacher training course. I've got loads of online learning to do now, and I'm also just applying for jobs.
I've turned into a 1950s housewife. I've been cooking, cleaning and making clothes.
Have any of you heard from or been in touch with each other since I last asked you for an update?
Personally, not really. I've been just exchanging a few messages. But Jess told me that she will invite me at the Halloween party. And I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know why I find this so funny, it's just really weird. Just living up the house parties, everyone's welcome.
How did you all find the process of talking to someone that you haven't met?
It just reminds you that actually having a phone call, I think, is so much nicer than just messaging, which obviously most dating apps, you start out just messaging, don't you? But I think I like that side of it. It's actually nice to hear someone's voice. So I enjoyed it. I would do it again.
I agree with Daisy in some areas that it was just a bit of fun. It was interesting just to kind of see what the whole experience would be like. Not seeing someone has its upsides and downsides to it. So the upside is that there's no pressure to look a certain way. So you had no idea what someone looked like on the phone, which made it easier to just speak because that's all it was really about. But then you're still conscious about how do I sound? How does my voice sound? Am I saying the right things? Am I making sure that my tone is right for the conversation, just so you're kind of getting the vibe, because without facial expressions you can't tell. It also encouraged me, again, like Daisy said, to have more conversations. So I've been catching up with a few people and having some really long phone conversations.
I would say that at the beginning I was a little bit nervous, because I've never done this kind of experiment. But then it got better, and it was actually very nice when sometimes you were perceiving that the things were going, were flowing pretty well. And on the other hand, like Helen said, can be also freeing because you feel that you don't feel any pressure from any side, which is cool. But you can also think, oh well, will she like me or not?
I found it fine, to be honest. I can kind of strike up conversations with any old random stranger in public, so I don't mind just talking to whoever about whatever. If you like talking on the phone, you can kind of get into more in-depth conversations, because sometimes your thumbs hurt if you're trying to do a big paragraph. Am I just the only really lazy texter? I just send everyone back really, really short answers, because I'm I cannot be bothered to text. It's so so much effort. So in that way, it's actually quite nice because you can kind of walk around, potter about and do things at the same time.
What did you learn, if anything, about yourself, about other people?
Okay, so what I learned is that maybe we can call each other more instead of just texting.
Yeah, I guess the same. I don't really feel I grew as a person. It was just nice.
It reminded me to be myself from the very beginning. I'll use an example of the conversations I had with Tom, because on the first day they were very much on the surface, really basic conversations. Because my religion is a very important part of my life. When it comes to dating, it makes dating hard for me because you don't find a lot of people where religion is a big focal point for them. So it's always kind of nerve-wracking because you don't want to come off as the Bible basher or the preacher, or I'm trying to convert you. So it's kind of hard to ease that into a conversation. But and I thought to myself after the call, I should have done that. So when we came on the second night, he asked me, what are your passions? And I was like, okay, I can't avoid this. And I've already told myself I should have said it the first time. So then we started talking about religion, and we had a really interesting conversation about religion. It was just a reminder to just be myself, and not worry about how I'm perceived by others, because if I'm perceived in the wrong way, then you're not for me.
For me, just similar, just how nice it can be to actually pick up the phone and speak to people. And I think just that can give you more of a sense of the personality of someone, because I think like messages can be quite hard to read, and also I think messages are something you can like take quite a lot of time to think about and to like rewrite. And I think like if you actually have like a kind of connection and you kind of get on in terms of humor and things like that, that's going to be a lot easier to properly be able to read if you actually speak to the person.
Any relationship status updates?
I mean, I just don't think it's the ideal time during the lockdown really to find a relationship. It is hard, but it's also not really something I've prioritized during the lockdown.
I think it's funny that you say that, Daisy, because I actually have a friend who started online dating around the time this breakout happened, and she's actually still been going on quite well with the guy that she's talking to over the phone. If you can meet someone online and if the conversation flows well, I don't see why it can't work. But again, it depends if that's a priority for you right now and if you're willing to make the effort to do it.
Everyone has a lot more free time, so if you were kind of rushed off your feet and didn't have time to date, but don't really have that excuse of I'm too busy.
My friend is busy because she's a key worker. She works for the NHS. Yeah, but she's been telling me about the guy. I'm like, oh my gosh, wow.
I prefer in person kind of like communication. Like I've always hated phone calls, hated texting. I always would much rather meet up with someone if I really wanted to see them. So I think the lockdown is the worst thing for me if I wanted to go on dates with people, because I would much rather actually go and meet them in person, go for a walk, go for drinks, whatever. So this for me would be hell if I had to try and string along some kind of relationship for a few months just via phone calls and stuff. I would really hate it. So yeah, props to anyone who can make it work. I
think it depends. I feel for me, I don't like texting, to be very honest. I prefer phone calls and video chat. But for me, I know I'm a busy person. Before this happened, I work late. I'm always out doing something. I'm always with colleagues. So to have that downtime when I can be on the phone and video chat, it does help a lot more. Definitely, you have to have that face-to-face communication because it does build the relationship. But for me, when there's not enough time, that helps a lot.
I'm not such a big texter. Actually, it's something that I want to improve, because sometimes I'm not. I give late replies, which is not nice. So I'm trying to improve under this point. But usually, the way in which I use texting is to plan the meeting, let's say. Mm-hmm. So you text a few messages and you plan, okay, let's meet. And then, because then you have meeting someone, then you have the feeling of the other person. But during this time, we can make the best of it. But as I said before, I think that definitely calls and video calls are much, much better.
Was there anything anyone else would do differently?
No, I don't think there's anything I would do differently. I think it's opened my eyes to the perception of things that I think I do, because I noticed Tom said our conversations were serious, but in my mind I was like, no, they're not. And I've noticed I have a habit of, in conversations in general, I usually let other people kind of guide the conversation, and I've become, even towards my friends, the person that you'll call and we could be on the phone for 2 hours, but you're the one that's speaking more than me. Yeah, I kind of let people lead, and maybe sometimes I need to lead conversations a bit as well, but I don't really like to.
I would dress up differently.
Dress up for the calls or for the video?
For the call. It was a joke.
I think it would be nice to have a bit more time, which is not that's not anything to do with you. I just think in some ways I felt we were cutting off the conversation immediately at 10 minutes because you were that's the rules. And I think maybe if we'd had a bit more time, everybody participating probably would have relaxed a bit and kind of being themselves a bit more, because again, yeah, I think I was a bit serious sometimes, and I'm basically just a massive idiot. So, but I don't think like that really came across. So, yeah, I don't know. I still think I was me, so I don't really regret anything.
I was pretty myself. A bit more time, like Jess said, it would have been interesting, and maybe it would have felt like too long and too awkward. I don't know.
Oh no, I think 10 minutes on like the first day was plenty, because I think everyone was a bit awkward. I don't know if they were, but that's how I felt. And then like, yeah, maybe you kind of thought, oh, I really want to speak to that person again after 10 minutes, which was perfect. And then maybe the second day, like I kind of felt naturally they went a little bit longer anyway, just because everyone kind of knew like the basics anyway, so you didn't kind of need to go over those.
I feel like I've learnt from you guys.
Would you actually do it yourself? Would you be a participant? Would you
I would. This is my sort of thing. Did you enjoy the experience?
I mean, like, I don't know if I would want to do it again. I felt like just like kind of like quite a lot of stress, like before the calls. I guess it was just a bit nerve-wracking beforehand. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be put off, but I don't know if I would want to be a guinea pig again. You know, I was happy to do it, so it was good.
Actually, I enjoyed the experience, and yeah, why not? I would do it again. It's an experience that can challenge you a bit, which is cool, and maybe can surprise you.
I would do it again. You know, had some nice conversations.
I remember in one of my videos I said, would I do it again? If someone asked me to do it again, it would be on the basis that there are a lot more participants and a lot more variety, if I'm using the right word. I don't want to sound like I'm talking about crisps, but just wider scale, especially because I was the only one from London as well, first of all. So even if this did work with anybody, the distance is another distance in itself.
Ellen, with more variety, you're referring to the fact that there should be more Italians, right? More Italians.
Thank you all for taking part. It's been great to have you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.